And you know what we call Monday, Steve and T-Rex? Well, for you it's the same every single day. Yeah, I know. We call it Back to Work Monday. Right. And we did a great job not being in a hurry on our Sunday. And here are Back to Work Monday. We're still not in a hurry. It's just 9 o'clock, 45 degrees, and breaking news from the weather department and statistics department. We're going to have a lot of this. First, this, coldest that, and it's the coldest morning in Boston at Logan Airport since April 13th. That's 6 months ago. It was 38 degrees. Well, today, October 26th, is it the 27th? Today, October 27th, it was 39 degrees. The first time we've got down below 40 degrees since springtime. And there are the rest of the temperatures this morning. It was in the 20s in central Massachusetts, coldest morning so far, mid-20s, I think colder than what we had a week and a half ago. And in Maine, it was in the 40s. What is that? How can it be warmer in Maine than Massachusetts? That is how this whole thing began last week with the occluded air, and it was colder down in Georgia than it was in Maine. So the colder air came in from the southwest, and it maxed out, and we're now running on old cold. And so air from the north we're just running out of cold. It's using itself up, and also the fact that there were clouds. Here's the satellite imagery this morning. There's a low pressure system. It's a very weak one that formed south of Nova Scotia yesterday, and it's kind of backing in. So it was gray in Maine, and so that prevents your radiational cooling. And that system in Nova Scotia, it was just a trough that went across New England yesterday, and it's starting to ramp up a little bit, but it's only a 1017 low pressure system, and it's a 1035 high pressure system. And we go to the Ocean Prediction Center graphics and map makers and see that the low south of Nova Scotia, as weak as it is kind of curling towards the northwest in our Greenland block that is now going on week 3. This is an extended Greenland block. And if you look at the Climate Prediction Center North Atlantic Oscillation graphics, we're close to a -2 in the NAO. It's a triple dipper. It went down again, and it went down again. This is the strongest Greenland block we've had in the year 2025. Wow. Speaking of wow, and back to work, look at the length of that boom. Oh my goodness. Wow. So they're repairing what Mother Nature damaged. We've had three 5-inch rainstorms since springtime here. And that's the number of times that we've had a blowout on this hill. If you're new here, this is called the Weymouth Big Dig, and there is drainage under there that they put in after the first 2 blowouts that they're going to have to check on. I'm not sure how Luce is going to play this out, but he made this stand for us on Friday, remember that? And he's got the long boom here, trying to figure out a way to prevent the next blowout. There were trees here for the decade I've been around, and there was a huge concrete basin that helped dam up the water down there that they pulled out to put in this new concrete concourse, which you'd think would do the same job, but I don't know about the vegetation. That's an intermission in the weather. All right, now let's shift gears to Hurricane Melissa. It's excruciating. The storm is no closer to the island today than yesterday. It's been moving, drifting west at only 2 or 3, 4 miles per hour, and it deepened down to 913 millibars central pressure, or 26.96 inches. It is a Category 5. Wind sustained 160 miles per hour. The eye this morning on the satellite image, the visible satellite image, you can see right into the center of the eye with the sun coming up. This was just about, I think, 7 a.m. local time in Jamaica, with the storm still more than 120 miles with the center of it south of the south coast of Jamaica, and is expected to make the turn toward the north at just about any minute now. So just excruciating, harrowing experience it must be for the citizens of Jamaica. We have several storm chasers that have put themselves down there and are saying that the preparation is going on smoothly, calmly, and they're trying to take care of everybody. And it sounds like they're as prepared as they possibly could be, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's only going to be a slow turn to the north and a slow acceleration, and it's still expected to make landfall sort of on the southwest side of the island. But if you just kind of consider this as similar to sort of an EF3 tornado that's about 50 or 60 miles wide, it seems like it's going to be very difficult to get out of the
situation. It's serious. We got a Category 5
violence of the storm. So you just got to have the strongest shelters, and our people down there like Josh Morgerman and so many others for different outlets, mostly private sector, I think all private sector, are there on the island. So we'll be seeing the what happens there. Hopefully everyone stays safe. Hard to focus too, and so much going on around you and so much stimulus. And speaking of stimulus, for snow skiers, it was kind of a big day or night last night. I didn't think it was going to snow so hard yesterday in the mountains, but it did. That short wave that came across New England, the first inch of snow. This is Mount Mansfield, and you can only see snow way up there at the very top underneath the gondola on the gondolier chair, up about probably 3,900 feet. And that's about where the snow stake is. And the first inch of the season reported at the snow stake on Mount Mansfield. And then if you move over into New Hampshire, the tallest mountain in New England, Mount Washington, this train stop here on the Cog Railway is at about 3,800 feet or so, and it snowed pretty much all day long yesterday, and there were people up there leaving footprints in the snow, and there had to be a rescue. There was about 20 people that had to be rescued. They got to ride down on the Cog Railway up there in sneakers, and oh my goodness, that's another story altogether. But yesterday, 3.9 inches of snow went in the books on Mount Washington, bringing us up to 11 for the month, and the average for October is 19. So we're pretty close to that, given that there's another week. But what's going to happen in the next week is a really tough call. There's T-Rex, had to be freed. Steve is over there. I better anchor him down. So we talk about the Greenland block, the systems one after another off the Pacific Ocean. I've talked about so many things. Let's look at the surface map from this morning. There are storms there. It's snowing pretty heavily in Wyoming, western Montana. That system is going to come to the coast in pieces, and that's a really tough call because of the pieces. And the one in the southeastern United States, that's bringing torrential rains this morning to places like Georgia and thunderstorms, and that's going to mostly miss us to the south. Ultimately, a high barometer nor'easter moving into the south coast of New England without much precipitation, just a lot of wind and some light rain on about Wednesday or so before the real deal gets its act together, and it's becoming a little bit more clear on what's going to happen here Thursday and Friday. Finding it very difficult to focus this morning with Rex barking and this huge excavator right in front of me and this barge going by. My disk drive is full. Look at that. Pirouette of tugboats going on. Pirouette of weather is going to happen this week with Melissa coming up off the East Coast, maybe infusing some moisture into dual low pressure systems that are going to come at New England. Now it looks like Thursday and Friday is going to be the most organized weather for us, and it's slowing down a little bit on Thursday and Friday. So why don't we just try and get to the Euro and do this? All right, here's the Euro, and right at the bottom is the low pressure system that's fairly weak. It's only about a 10-10 low going off the southeastern United States, but it's got rich tropical moisture, and that's going to help pull Melissa to the north, and it's going to pull Melissa to the north, but they're not going to join forces totally, although when I stop it on Halloween, you'll see there is some kind of a connection there. And then there's system coming out of the northern plain states, which a week ago we thought was going to go into Canada, and that would leave us with the only trough in town, but instead there's a trough in the middle of the nation. So our first storm is escaping off to the south. There is some rain along the south coast from Cape Cod to Long Island, that sort of ocean effect with the cold air, still old cold, but warm enough that it's rain, not snow. Yeah, Cape Cod to Long Island. But there are a lot of isobars. Call that a high barometer nor'easter because of the high pressure system to our north. And then the second low is going to develop on the coast here about Wednesday night or Thursday as the primary low coming out of the western states goes into Ohio and slows down over New York. And now This is now Thursday. Heavy bands of rain are coming in late, and we're going to stop it now on Friday, Halloween, at 5 a.m. And we have one low that's over to our west. We've got an occluded front triple point low on the coast of Maine. And so that's occluded air coming towards southern New England after a real heavy batch of rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain possible in much of New England, with that rain now still going on in Maine. And if you track that rain to the south, it does look like it's attached to Hurricane Melissa there, that's in the mid 970s. This is the Euro, which is a little farther west than the National Hurricane Center forecast would have. Melissa really, again, going over Bermuda, the second hurricane to go right over Bermuda, needle in a haystack for these hurricanes hitting Bermuda on Halloween day. That's kind of scary, but this would be the second sort of probably a Category 2 hurricane for Bermuda this summer. And for us, it's just another nice dose of drought-denting rain without any snow coming through New England on Thursday into Friday. And it may still be raining in parts of New England on Halloween evening, as that low kind of, we'll put it back in motion now, that low lifts into Canada, and we have a transition back from sort of occluded air into the next batch of new cold is going to come in on Saturday with a high pressure system way off to the west and south. And this front is driving way down to the southeastern United States, and you got a bit of a clipper there, some low pressure systems coming off the Great Lakes states, so some energy and a low barometer cold, very unstable, windy and cold by Sunday and Monday with some elevation raindrops and snowflakes. Now we're getting into November, so those will not go in the book as October snowflakes, but it doesn't look like any big organized storms, just windy and cold, kind of very November-ish as we start off November, and this now goes out to Wednesday, November 6th, right? And if we stop it there, you have a ridge in the west at a trough in the east, and the 540 line all the way down to the southeastern United States. So a freeze may be coming to the southeastern United States to start off November. And so there is room to build a storm in there somewhere, or the snowstorm for us. But for now, there are no snowstorms in the foreseeable future for anywhere in New England. All right, that's it for the weather. All right, Luce is giving some specific instructions here. Oh boy, he is a hard-working man. So yesterday, here in the yard in the neighborhood, did not venture far. It was a slow Sunday. Patriots, slow start for Patriots every week, but then they just May got sacked 5 times, and they won running away. That's amazing, going away. Tremendous. So obviously my brain is a little frazzled right now. So why don't we just get to yesterday's weather today. I know there's a lot more I want to talk about. I do want to do a Q&A sort of virtually with the comments you're all leaving me. I love them, and thank you for watching. And look at the size of that cruise ship going behind the island. Is that Long Island? I can't even remember the island. No, I don't think it is. So my friends that know the area are laughing right now. Laugh away. Here's yesterday's and more. This is the most snow so far this season and more. Just before Patriots kickoff, looking up the Cog Railway there at Mount Washington at 3,800 feet. Vec is hiking up at J, sending some pictures. Who thought today would be the snowiest day? Sunday. That cloud we had earlier that was over the ocean has moved out further, and we've got some instability cumulus north of Boston on Not in a Hurry Sunday, game day, and I've been having the gigabyte blues. I've been spending the whole morning editing, so sorry I'm late with the video, which is now yesterday, right? But I had to free up a bunch of storage. I've got so much in my movie library. Gigabyte blues is what I call it. I love the blue sky. 3 p.m. Patriots running away with it again. Couple of nice interceptions. Interesting sky. Love watching the snow fall up in the mountains as the boaters go by here on our Not in a Hurry Sunday, leaving myself an easy edit today because there's been so much action the last couple of weeks. Very grateful for all the interactions and meeting up with new and old friends, and so much weather to talk about, including sailing here on the Gulf of Weymouth on this Sunday afternoon as the Patriots looking good over in Foxborough. Look at the sediment in the water. Yeah, so the workers are probably back to work on our Back to Work Monday, right? Take T-Rex for a walk up the hill right now for the fourth quarter.
Well, Tim, I was trying to hike to the top of this mountain over here that has some snow on it, but I can't zoom through it for some reason. Going, there it is. So you can see the snow lines right there, but too far away. Dogs and I. So today we're just enjoying the wetness, but it was snowing earlier, so anyways, just trying to show you that, kind of see it there, the snow line. Oh well, no snow for us today.
Not easy taking Rex for a walk when he's trying to be in charge. We got this old Patriots leash. We should upgrade like the team is upgraded, huh, T-Rex? Out on the south side of the house here. Beautiful fall scene. And in the sun, it's quite nice. Temperature is probably about 54, 55. What are you looking for, Rex? Is there a worm down there or something? Oh, I see. We haven't gone out in a while. Gotta take care of some business. All right, Rex. Yep, let's do this. We'll go up here into the shade. Yeah, Rex is the leader, the alpha. Yeah, Rex. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Give us a little exercise. And then we'll watch the sun go down, maybe a little time lapse if there are any clouds going over Boston. Whenever the meteorologists all get together, there's exciting weather. I guess a hurricane is considered exciting weather, but I would never want to be on the shore or even experience a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. A lot of chasers down there. Hopefully staying safe. Respect and prayers for all of you. I, on the other hand, am perfectly content to chase nor'easters, or pretty much let them chase me. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. So far, the wind has been parallel to the coast, so the ocean clouds have not moved in, but that's going to be changing. And most of the inland clouds have evaporated, and this is going to be one of the last weekends with the sun where we can see it as it goes down. My tomato garden now no longer sees the sun at all. It's still going. And it's kind of sad as the tomatoes go away, but it's kind of fun to watch the snow accumulate, and it's kind of scary to watch a hurricane strengthening, going through eye wall replacement cycles, and just moving so slowly. So what should we watch for the end of the day today with not too many clouds, but the planes are landing over the city of Boston. So maybe we'll watch a few planes land over Boston, play some music, and right at the very end, at the sunset around 20:05, we'll spin it that way and see if we can still see the orb of the sun pretty close to the Fore River Bridge. So let's do that. How about a time lapse? Steve is out here too, but he's a little bit more concentrating on the varmints underneath the bird feeder. And we're gonna set the time lapse up on the chair right here. Put the tripod on the chair with the camera on the tripod. So there's a plane coming in right now, and they're landing on either 4 left or 4 right, and they can even land 2 at a time. And there's the back bay, and then there's the financial district of Beacon Hill behind those trees. So I think we're going to put it right here and just watch the planes land. See if we can get 2 at a time coming in. The sun gets lower, and then I'll turn it toward the sunset. All right, here we go. Oddly slow night for planes coming in, wouldn't you say? Or if we turn it toward the east, watch those clouds over there for a couple of minutes before we see the sun go down. So those are pretty good looking clouds over Hull. Maybe 1 or 2 more will go fly too. And the slow pan back towards sunset. Oh, oh. Those clouds are probably gonna look really pretty in a couple minutes, but I want to watch the orb, the sun going over the horizon.